that one. Why don't you guys put yourself in my shoes? I know Jack and Lily are missing everybody, but why don't you guys try putting yourself in my shoes like Kent does? Thank you, Kent. Thanks for putting yourself in my shoes. Change your shirt, boy. You got chicken stains on it. MVM said it was cold out, but it's warmer today, so I hope they are warm. What the fuck? Who says that, Helicopter Grandma? Yeah, so what is she saying? Nobody wants to say exactly. She's just worried about them being warm. Meanwhile, it's been sub-zero overnight. You haven't seen the kids in God knows how long. Oh. Yeah, she knows this story is bullshit, and she's going with the bullshit story. There's going to be repercussions. Oh, gee, Callie. I couldn't be in her shoes. I wouldn't cover up something my son did to somebody else's kids. Yeah, there's just some lines that you don't cross. And that's harming children. And what's the first thing that she does is assist the suspects. Unless she's got to be directly involved in it, perhaps. She's bonded to that rather than be in a position to snitch him out and say enough's enough and do some parenting in that situation, something that she's never quite gotten used to. He's always been ignored from her. Well, because he's an ugly, red-headed Satan's child. He's a child of Satan. It's just natural. Firebush. Yeah, thanks for nothing, Kent, says Helicopter Grandma. You'll leave the rest in your head. You dickhead. Son of a bitch.
You would be feeling exactly the same way I am. I'm no different than anybody else. I do have a heart.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Put yourself in her shoes.
And I'm not standing up for Daniel, and I'm not standing up for Malaya. I'm standing up for myself.
Yeah, we hear that.
I told you everything that I know, and I told the truth. If you want to give me a Bible and swear it, I will.
It's amazing that the only statements that they give all mimic this same story that goes nowhere, has nothing to do with the kids. It just has everything to do with where the other person was at any one point in time. They all seem to have been recognizing that the other ones were drifting in and out of sleep. Interesting. It's like they're writing this as we go. Thank you very much, Robin. Oh my God, 10 Canadian. That's the good stuff. Here we have another one, Janie. And call 1-800-WOW-WOW. That's another drink, Janie. That's her fake whiskey tears. Why don't you go stuff your face with some of that processed sugar key lime pie that you were eating last time. Lemon meringue, maybe. From the dollar store. Dollar store pies. JM, you don't have a heart. You are a negative woman who didn't care about Jack and Lily. Man, there's no hiding that. There's no hiding that. I would go around the world for my step-grandchildren and grandson. Yeah, especially if there's kids on your property, you tend to develop a fondness for them, I would assume. But it seems like there was no interaction between the two. There is, even on that small property, a divide between the driveway people and the trailer people. And old Danny was being used by both sides. He's pulled in between, and you don't do that to a tweaker and expect them to be stable. You could see how hard Janie is on the situation, reminding them every 30 minutes of just how generous she is. Emotionally blackmailing them or extorting them emotionally. I think Malaya knows exactly what took place. What mother would not search and remain there till her kids were found? Yeah, exactly. Listen, what you're saying is her behavior didn't match the scenario she was presented. She was and had already sold the kids off in that sense. She's not expecting those children to ever return alive again. And she didn't expect to, and she wasn't sticking around. I think Janie's been roped into covering for Daniel. Don't think so. I think Janie's been roped into covering for Daniel and Malaya because Malaya's done a runner. Janie and Daniel are Janie talking about Malaya is a warning. If I was putting money on this one in Vegas, I'll tell you right now, I'm really interested in Janie actually having a lot more to do with the fate of Jack and Lily than we'd like to think at this point in time. Although there's not any direct evidence for that. She's really admitted that to us, I think, through her language. But we're not going to know until the RCMP really get him in that interview and put their nose to the grindstone. Shake her upside down. Shake it out of her.
And besides, what would I have to gain by doing something to Lily and Jack? It breaks my heart I can't see my grandchildren. It breaks my heart because I don't know where Lily and Jack is. And look at poor Meadow when she's going.
I don't know where they is. I don't know where they is, but you know where they are.
Through, she has no parents that are together anymore.
Meadow has no parents that are together anymore. That's probably a topic that's come up from Daniel, I would expect. So I wonder if what Janie just said there was something that Daniel used against Malaya and put that all on her as a tactic to try to get her to stay in this one-sided relationship that he's been fostering all of this time. This relationship is all meant to really serve Daniel. Nobody else. Malaya gets absolutely nothing out of it. In fact, she loses. She's like paying to lose all of this money that's meant to help raise her children. And she's not in a strong financial place to begin with. She can't afford any of this. She can't afford to have any parasites leech onto her and suck and live off of her and bang her every night and walk around and it not get better. Now, Daniel's preoccupied with his mathematics addiction. Things aren't going to change until he changes.
You guys just don't understand. I wish you were in my shoes. Being played for something that I had nothing to do with.
You guys just don't understand. I wish you were in my shoes. Being blamed for something that I didn't do. Priorities. What the fuck is up with you, honey? It's like she's trying to challenge you, psychologically challenge you with reverse psychology, and it's just so bad. It's so juvenile and childish. I'd love to just include her in this slap fight rotation. I'd even do her with my left hand. DM moved in with MBM at Patty's because he saw the money. Yeah, a little leak in, keep the crystal coming through. Money is the root of all evil, and he's screwed up, and here we are today. Absolutely. They also took advantage and stole from Patty and the hand that was feeding them at that point in time. They really violated trust. This was going nowhere. And old Janie, she doesn't even trust old Daniel with their four-wheeler. Ha! I wouldn't let him drive my four-wheeler. Well, why wouldn't you? Like, It's so bizarre to hear an old woman be so possessive over a shitty four-wheeler. My prized possession. At least you're proud of something. Living in that fucking RV. Living in that damn RV. You hate to ask this, but did anyone check if DM had MBM start an OnlyFans account? Wouldn't surprise me if he did that. Well, actually, Daniel started one for himself. He's so in love with his goddamn self. That's what it's all about. You ever see his selfie in the bathroom mirror that I use on my thumbnails? That was what attracted Malaya to him. That picture that he posted in Facebook dating. You asked. Valerie Freilich, the two victims here are Jack and Lily, period. Why don't you try putting yourself in Janie's shoes for once, Valerie Freilich? You ever try that? Really, we do that all of the time when we interpret her nonsense, her deception. We analyze her for sketchiness. Or what Mike, the man, likes to reference the Plaids framework. Priority leakage, avoidance, intentions, distancing language, and sensitivities. It's fantastic if you're into it, because these are the types of situations where you use it all the time. This is the type of individual. You don't necessarily have to use it on your mom's or your grandma. It's not like that. You use it when there's deception at hand. So much of it. And they're so covert and out there and really pretending that they're key participants in all of this, and they're so concerned for Jack and Lily that they're going to search till forever until they find those kids, because that's what you do. They're really stretching. They're really trying too hard. They're putting on a performance to distract you away from the obvious. They're doing anything to get the conversation away from what happened. No, what really happened. They're trying to dodge what the inevitable is going to be here for as long as possible. And they're just simply lying and denying. I don't think you could possibly care any less if you tried. You couldn't try or act this way. Right? Could you imagine acting how Janie is behaving towards Jack and Lily? Like, you really have to figure that out psychologically and try to come across as angry as she just comes across naturally towards these two missing children at this point in time. The resentment is off the hook. Vows for insurance money, I'm sure of it. Helicopter grandma. Saying that JM didn't want DM to drive her ATV, but he drove her car and wrecked it, LMAO. Yeah, a few of them. They need the money. They need the income.
Thank you. Now, if there's any more questions, please ask them now, because I'm not staying on here much longer, so get this over with.
How many times does she say that in this whole, I think probably about 3 different times. You guys better be nice or I'm leaving. She's demanding that you respect her. Because you have to. You should. She's a victim. Just put yourself in her shoes. How loud does she have to tell you? Does she need to tell you again and again? Well, she will. Holy shit. It's hard to believe that she's living all by herself out there with a dog in a goddamn RV in her driveway, her own driveway. What did she win to get herself out there in that driveway? What luck.
I am fighting to see my grandchildren. I've already got in the process.
How could you hold back from the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation jokes out there? You're like Chevy Chase's brother in that. Randy Quaid. What's his name in the movie?
I'm trying to see my two oldest. And as I said, I'll fight tooth and nail to see my grandchildren. Nobody's going to stop me.
Cousin Eddie, Nishiba.
So one question at a time if you want answers. Okay, a lady dropped posters off to me day before yesterday. I haven't had a chance to get out to put any out, but I will definitely put them out. Just right now I'm having a little car problem, so my sister-in-law said that she would take me around to put them up just soon she was able to do so. I do own another piece of land, but the land that I own is between my exes and my brother. It is 7 acres and there is no water. It's not by the ocean, it's not by anything. There's no brook on it, there's no water at all on it. So if you go to Google Maps, you will find the piece of land between my exes, which is Daniel and Justin's father, and my brothers. And that would be on...
I wonder why she would bring up water and the ocean.
The Lansdowne Road, not the Lansdowne Station Road.
It seems to me her pattern's been that the things that she mentions, she seems to be also sensitive about. Like, in the sense that she's out worried about what other people are talking about on social media, and they're keeping in like they're eavesdropping in that sense, and certain things stick out to them. Sometimes they mention them afterwards. See the new duct tape on the nylon rope for the missing children to avoid getting nylon splinters in their hands? Yeah, it's all fairly fresh. And it's nonsense. That wood pile was under there that particular day, so I don't buy that the kids were there playing whatsoever. How would she know? She was drifting in and out of sleep. How would she know? She says she heard them, but then proceeds to tell you that she could have prevented all if she only had saw them, as opposed to just heard them. If I had saw them, I could have done something about it. Very bizarre. Because at the same time, she's trying to pass off that hearing them and seeing them are the same thing in the context of an alibi for covering up for Daniel and whatever happened to Jack and Lily, because those kids didn't walk out of that house by themselves on a freezing cold spring day. There ain't no food hanging from the trees. There ain't no KFC in the driveway. There's food in the cupboards. There's hopefully food in the cupboards. Hopefully food in the fridge. Kids want food. Never any mention about feeding these kids. How many times do you feed a kid between mealtime? How many snack times? Nutrition breaks. Times the kids are begging for stuff. All the time. Kids love food. And in 2025, kids are addicted to it. It's almost a no-brainer. It's not like they're running away from your bad cooking. Kids love food. Oh, remember Daniel? All those kids are just looking to have a good time. They'll go with anybody. These are 4 and 6-year-old. Oh, just offer them a little water and they'll jump and go with anybody. Trying to tell the world that they're kids who are known to have wandered. And then come back and tell everybody that, no, they've never been known to wander before. Looking at you, Malaya. Trying to pawn off and label your kids as autistic at the age of 4 and 6 is so telling as you as a parent in that sense. You don't even want to go through the process. If you were indeed concerned about something, you would be well into the process. You just want to use it as a label to cover it up for the severe neglect that was going on. And you yourself don't even know the difference. You don't know much. You're not even interested in being a good mother to your kids after being with this fucking knob. What is wrong with you moving this fucking guy in after 2 weeks on Facebook dating?
Repeat, the Lansdowne Road. And to correct Haley and whoever else, the piece of blanket was found on the Lansdowne Road, not the Lansdowne Station Road. I cannot answer questions about that blanket because I was not here.
Interesting that she's so adamant about talking about a piece of distraction with this blanket that you wanted to be so clear about. You don't have any problem talking about a blanket and insisting about where it was found and wanting to make sure that everybody was straight on it. Why would it matter? Why don't you tell us why it's important to begin with there, you dipshit? Tells me that she knows a lot more about it than she's leading on. Just a bit of a red herring. Helicopter Grandma says malnourished, abused, neglected, and didn't get what they deserved. And here we are. MBM never even met their teachers, FFS. Yeah, 4 and 6 years old. That's very bizarre. You had all this extra time. Why wouldn't you go in and volunteer and get to know the teachers and read to kids at that age? And there's plenty of things for you to do. You're too busy getting high with your Danny. Too busy with makeup and scrolling Facebook, looking for that perfect shot that you can upload to Instagram, girl. Boy, what a catfish you're turning out to be. It's like a real competition for catfishes around this place. There's no bigger catfish than Logan McKenzie, though. Holy Hannah. Nasty ass, old fucking ragged bitch. Mr. Hemi says she couldn't remember Lily's boot size even after buying her boots less than 60 days prior. She's a dope. Yeah, for a chick, for a mother, she is. I think my daughter's size 8, by the way. I have to check. Look in the opposite direction of that piece of blanket, in your opinion. Oh, Ginger's mom. Listen, it's a good chance that these tweakers are trying to make it seem like the blanket in the tree gave them some sort of reason after the fact to avoid police and hang out down close to the pipeline and in that area. That's what it looks like. Like they're covering their tracks. Like they're making it look less suspicious than it already looks. Yep, every time D&M were getting high all night long, Jack and Lily didn't make it to school, in your opinion, Robin says. It's probably accurate. They'd stay up late arguing into the night, then making up. Janie'd be out there with her earmuffs on, her Temu earmuffs, not hearing a thing. Listen to the old trailer squeak, the old shocks on it. Bang, 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 bang. You know, maybe there's some aggressive sex. We know how aggressive old Danny likes to be. He's just slamming hole in the bedroom all night long, keeping the lady up. Imagine how noisy it is at like a motel, like in a drive-in motel when the prostitutes get going and there's parties and there's people coming back, 2, 3 a.m. and all kinds of noise in that quiet air. Noise travels. Think about what it's like back there in the RV. Oh, Jane, you'd hear everything. You'd hear everything and then some. It's not like you can hide behind some white noise in the trailer after a closed door in your trailer, and you're actually in the trailer, not the RV, excuse me. They probably are junk food. They probably ate junk food. And YC Boomer. When was the last time they had a home-cooked dinner, breakfast, etc.? Whenever they drove through the drive-thru? If the trailer's rocking, don't come a knocking. Well, it doesn't matter. When Janie's got to go to the bathroom, she's got to go. She's not going to call you first and make sure it's okay to come in, and she's going to respect some sort of privacy. There ain't no privacy around there when Janie's living in the driveway. She's the one that's moved out into the driveway, coming in to tell them all the time how she doesn't hear anything and everything that goes on is between you two. You know, the same bullshit she's trying to feed us right now. The reason she's saying that is because she hears everything that goes on. She doesn't want to talk about it. That's your business. You want to live out your great fantasies in my bedroom while I suffer out here in this cold fucking RV with no running water, no fridge, no sink with running water to wash my hands. Look at the hygiene of my fucking dog in here. God knows whose dog this is. But I got a dog in here looking after things. Don't even know its name.
When it was supposed to be found, I'm just hearing where she said it was. I'm correcting her that it was the Lansdowne Road. The only time that I was here to have any part of the blanket was when the cops, RCMP...
Yeah, she already said Janie knew damn well that her son was abusing Malaya and the kids. Yeah, she already recognized and acknowledged that it's typical around there for Daniel to be yelling at Jack. She automatically assumed when she heard Daniel yelling that it must have been Jack up to something, in other words. Telling you that it's a commonality, it's a common thing that occurs around there. Old nasty angry Daniel with his special bond and yelling and you know, otherwise abusing these poor children. Think about all the absolute nightmare scenarios that Jack and Lily are in that you would have never in a million years to guess the level of sadistic bullshit that these step parents or people in power over these children, boyfriends, carry out on these poor children and isolating them, locking them away, restricting their food and diet, tying them up, tying them outside, isolating them, treating them foul, slapping, hitting. There's some real nightmares that go so beyond anything that we could imagine that anybody could be capable of. And we're in that zone with these son of a bitches right now. The more that we learn about what Jack and Lily were put through during the past 2 years that they were staying at this hellhole, the more obvious it's going to be as to what their eventual fate was in all of this. The only thing that would be tangible that would be there to cover up, and it would be the escalation of the cycle of abuse. It reached its breaking point because this was an illegitimate relationship to begin with, riddled with problems, destined for problems, because it was founded on lies and deception. And at some point along the lines, two lines intersect and things go awry because somebody's not being fulfilled in this particular arrangement. Daniel was having the financial problems. He's an addict. He's a thief, a liar. And it's not just on us. It's on Malaya, her family as well. So they're in a constant state of fight and flight in all of this. What are you saying, Grandma? GM said she had to call MBM when Jack and Lily were outside without coats or shoes. That action makes no fucking sense. To sit there and pick that tells you that this bitch isn't with reality. Okay? She's not giving you any context. She's assuming you as the listener are looking for something to turn judgment on somebody, and that's going to be good enough, as though it would be good enough for her. Like, think about that. You felt the need to call rather than actually interact with the kids. If they were doing something that required, you just yell out your door. Put your kit coats on. It's a learning experience. She has to take that opportunity to call the other person. And not to mention she's telling people this. She has to make it a point to call Malaya because she's a bad parent and yell at her all the time for this. Like, it's really not that bad of a thing for the kids to be outside for 30 seconds with no fucking coat on. They can come back in and get a coat on. It's not the end of the world. That's what kids do. They get excited and get ahead of themselves. Why does she use a situation to turn around and put it back on Malaya at that point in time? Because she needed desperately somebody to put all of the suspicion on, because nowhere in her mind can she rationally put together reality and not come out of it looking